Hello, everyone. Sorry for any background noise here, but I am just wanting to make this quick video to demonstrate my setup with the Dotpad Braille display as a note taker. Now, the Dotpad is a multi-line display from Dot Incorporated based in South Korea. They have several global distributors. And when I got mine, my only initial complaint was that it doesn't have a way to input text. The Dotpad is made up of, at the very front, a 20 cell Braille display for text. Then it has 6 control keys, but those are only for panning and navigation, basic navigation. Then above that is this picture frame-esque thing, and that is where your tactile graphics and multi-line text is going to be. On the left is your data port, on the right is your power switch and your power port. Now, the biggest issue for me was that, again, you can't type text. So what I did is I went and got an Orbit writer from Orbit Research. It's just this keyboard, Braille keyboard. And I wanted to emulate the Monarch, the APH Monarch. So this is like the first kind of iteration of my idea. So here's how it works. Let's turn this off. So this is obviously the Orbit writer. If I put that on the desk in front of the Dotpad, I can plug in a micro USB cable. Then I can take an iPhone, specifically this iPhone 15 Pro Max here. Here, let me turn up the brightness a bit. Now let's hope no notifications come through. However, I can take this iPhone, and it has a USB-C port. So I got a USB-C adapter that adapts USB-A to USB-C. But when I plug it into the iPhone, you heard that little vibration and that little sound. So I put the iPhone beside the Dotpad, and first let's turn on the Dotpad here. You heard a second little noise from the iPhone, and that rustling sound was, sure enough, the Dotpad has found the iPhone and has connected. Now, the reason I had to connect the Orbit writer over USB instead of Bluetooth is that, unlike macOS, the iPhone and iPad can't connect to more than one Braille display by default. A way to get around this is by plugging in a USB Braille display and then connecting a Bluetooth Braille display. In this case, the Dotpad X is connected with Bluetooth, and the Orbit writer is connected with USB. So this allows me full control of the iOS device from either the Dotpad's basic navigation controls or the Braille keyboard on the Orbit writer. Now, you can go a wireless solution. However, this wireless solution is kind of janky. Essentially, you have to put the Orbit writer in keyboard emulation mode, where not all voiceover commands work. You can do basic navigation, basic typing, and that's about it. If you want an actual note-taker experience, you'd best plug it in over USB. In addition to keeping the Orbit writer charged, it also ensures a smooth connection and that the Orbit writer connects every time. So all you have to worry about is the Dotpad. Now, with the Dotpad, it has the FaceTime picture, the FaceTime app icon on the display. And I'm just going to do some basic tasks here on this iPhone with only the Braille keyboard as my input device. So, the first thing I'm going to do is go into Safari and look up an article. And I'm going to read this article on the Dotpad X, but I'm going to navigate with the Orbit writer. And this is a pseudo note taker. And even better, since I'm fully blind and don't need the screen, I can put the iPhone underneath the Dotpad, or behind the Dotpad rather, because I won't need it. As long as the speakers are audible, then I only need the Orbit writer and the Dotpad. Now, let's get started. So, I'm just going to arrow over to Safari as usual. Actually, I'm going to do the end of file command. Come on now. Come on now. Oh, I have to turn it on. Sorry. Here we go. Let me slow down the speech. I forgot.
65%, 60%.
There we go.
Spotify. Messages. 23.
So I'm in the dock right now.
Phone. Chrome.
And this will work for Safari and Chrome, but I just wanted to go to Chrome right now. It won't make a difference. So I clicked on it with the center joystick pad, center control button on the Orbit Writer, and the Dotpad has updated to show the search page of Google. So on the very top line, it's a 8-dot full cell, and then it says search Google or type URL button, and that's where you would type in a web address. But then it says back DMD, I don't know. But then there's another full cell, and it says forward. I forgot I had contracted Braille on. I'm going to leave that on for now. And when you connect both the Orbit Writer and the Dotpad to your iPhone running iOS 26, in this case 0.2, but it shouldn't make a huge difference, besides some general connectivity issues that might pop up. I would recommend switching the setting that says the Braille setting in the iPhone that makes the input and output tables match. This ensures that the Braille that you're seeing is the Braille that you can type and vice versa. So I'm just going to arrow around using the left and right arrow keys.
Voice search. Button. Lens visual search. Button. Groups. Button. USBS.com registered. Sign in. Button. Buy games. Gift cards and top-ups cheaper. Button. Blind help project vertical line envisioning a broader tomorrow through the lens of technology. Button. Chrome tips. Heading. Get Chrome's strongest security. Add an extra layer of protection against online threats. Button. Safety check. Heading. 1 day ago. Change your password. Continue with this tab. See more. Groups IO bullet shortcuts. Bookmarks. Reading list. Recent tabs. History. Heading. Button.
And I'm going to the Discover heading.
Google, Qualcomm's
Again, just by arrowing through with the Orbit Writer. And as you can probably hear, and as I can feel, the Dotpad is updating immediately.
Google finally did it. AirDrop now works on Android. Android Authority 1D. Button.
I'm going to go to this article.
Open links in Chrome by default. Button. Close banner Chrome. Address and search. Close open links in Chrome. Cancel.
Oh, I gotta switch this.
Search results for all. Segway Nakamo I1 affiliate Learn Mobile. Android. Google finally did it. Quick Share is finally compatible with AirDrop. Plus an early look at the Galaxy Buds 4 Pro and Samsung's take on Magic Q.
Okay, so what you heard on the iPhone, I can read all this text on the Dotpad, and the controls on the Dotpad still work. So I can push the F4 key, and it goes to the next paragraph of text. I can hit the arrow right key, and sure enough, it will pan the single line Braille display. And if I won't do it now, but if I were to press F2, I would go home. If I were to press F3,
Quick Share is finally compatible
it would
Galaxy Buds 4 Pro and Samsung's take on Magic. Braille access on. Launch Braille access
no, it would simulate a double tap. So I'm just going to read this article. I'm going to scroll through this article with the Orbit Writer, and then I'm going to read this on the Dotpad and Braille.
Vishal Rama. Button. Bullet. Night Sky. November 22nd, 2025. November 22nd,
I'm going to do a read all command.
Bullet. 5. Button. Button. Facebook 0 shares. X 0 shares. WhatsApp 0 shares. Show more. Button. Advertisement. Link. Image. Button. Now play video. Button. Hide player controls. Button. AirDrop on Android is real. Link. Android Authority 2. Link. Thumbnail image.
I'm going to skip past this.
Vishal Rama. Watch on YouTube. Advertisement. This week, Michelle Ramon and Scott Brown discussed the bombshell news that Google has updated Quick Share to be compatible with Apple's AirDrop without Apple's help. They also break down the leaked design and new head gesture features of the Samsung Galaxy Buds 4 Pro and analyze the new nudges coming to One UI 8.5. Advertisement. Sponsored ad. Separator. DIN. The Authority Insights podcast is a new weekly show for the Android Authority team hosted by Michelle Ramon and Scott Brown. In each episode, we'll break down the latest exclusive reports, app teardowns, and leaks from the Android Authority team.
Okay, so this appears to be a podcast link page.
Latest deals on Top Tech, heading level 4. Satellite caller, link. 24% off.
Okay.
See price at Satellite, link.
And as you can probably hear, the Dotpad is refreshing. Now, unfortunately, in iOS 26, Apple introduced Braille access, which essentially turns your Braille display or Braille screen input, as far as I know, into a Braille note taker with limited functionality, including reading and writing BRF files and BRL files, and an image calculator, a live captions display thing, and of course the time, like any good note taker. This works independent of all apps, and fortunately this does work with the Dotpad quite well. However, this setup only works with the single-line Braille display. The single-line Braille display would show all of your text content, while the multi-line display up top would show what you're currently working on. That doesn't include, unfortunately, the Braille access feature set. So if I go to Braille access by pushing dot 7 and 8 in space,
Braille access on launch app.
we have launch app, and that's spoken as well as shown on, again, only the single line Braille display.
Choose item.
Choose item.
Braille notes.
Braille notes.
BRF files.
Nemeth calculator. Live captions, and
9 hours, 56 minutes, and 30 seconds p.m.
And that's the time. Something cool is that the time has seconds, and so you can feel the time refresh each second.
Close.
And then we have close, so I'm going to close this. Now, let's say you wanted to actually use this as a Braille note taker, even without Braille access. I imagine they'll be updating that in the future to support multi-line Braille. But let's say you wanted to create a note in the Notes app. So I'm going to go home by pushing H chord.
Messages. Chrome.
And I am going to
FaceTime.
Navigate to Notes, which I know is on the second page.
Page 2 of 2. Outlook. 60 Teams. Calculator. Notes.
Notes. There we go. So I'm going to click it.
Notes. Folders. Back button. Folder actions. Notes. Heading. OneNote. Heading. My notes. List. Use circumflex toolbar. Dictate. Button. Search. Dictate. New note. Button. New note.
New note. There we go.
New note. Note.
Okay.
Editing toolbar. Note. Text field. Is editing. Insertion point at start. Actions available. Hello. My name is Isaac. And I am.
And I am, this shows both on the multi-line Braille display and the single line display. Unfortunately, by default, there is some clutter. So unless I type a full page of text underneath my note where it says, hello, my name is Isaac, and I... And then it's below that, the line below that, it says format page 1 of 1 button, checklist off page 1 of 3 button, not really sure what that's about, table page 1 button, various things like that. Now if I continue typing, hello, my name is Isaac, and I am testing the
Dotpad misspelled with the orbit writer. I'll
as you can tell, I'm not very fast at writing or reading Braille, but fortunately, it is refreshing both on the single line display and the multi-line display. And I'm able to read my note. So, I'll have it read.
Activate. Default. Done.
Oh,
Button. Text field. Notes. Back. Undo. More. Done. November 20. Note. Text field. Is editing. Hello, my name is Isaac, and I am testing the Dotpad with the Orbit Rider Braille keyboard. Insertion point at end.
Okay.
Actions available.
So it's not as smooth as, for example, a Braille Note Touch, where the focus is automatically to the text, or much less the Monarch, where it's all an integrated system. However, you are getting multi-line Braille, and you are able to input and read text. So I'm going to go. I'm going to save this note.
Notes. Back button. Chair. More. Done. November. Done. Done. Notes.
And I'm going to go home. H chord.
Notes.
And what else should I show you? Hold on. Oh.
Dismiss.
Something to keep in mind is that the tactile graphics that are natively built into iOS do show up on the Dotpad as usual. So anything you can read or see on the Dotpad can be used with the Orbit Writer connected. Unfortunately, you can't connect the Dotpad to the Dot Canvas app without going into VoiceOver settings and forgetting it, and then pairing it with Dot Canvas separately. And I think this has to do with their custom protocol and the fact that they're not using really Braille HID yet. So it still has a lot of room for improvement, but this is, a good option for people who have maybe a Dotpad and an Orbit Writer or something similar and want a way to be able to output and input text. So you essentially be using an iPhone as a Monarch with built-in applications, native web browser support, image support, and you'd be able to read books, for example, in the Kindle app, and use voice-over commands like a standard Braille display. The only drawback to this setup is that it's kind of clunky. You have to carry around the iPhone in your pocket, then you have to carry a USB adapter, micro USB cable, and the Dotpad and the Orbit Writer. So I use the padded case to carry all this stuff, and I imagine what would help is either a multi-port adapter so you could charge the iPhone at the same time, or actually a shorter micro USB cable so it's not flying everywhere when you're trying to move the setup. Now, what else should I show you? I can't do Spotify, that's copyright music, but here. I will go to the App Store, and I can show you how both images and text work really quick.
Focus. Done book.
So I'm going to go to the first page.
Home. Page 1 of 2. Photos. Facebook camera. Find my. Compass. Magnet. Short files. Read. Safari. Blank square. Gmail. Feedback. Preview. Dot Canvas. Clock. 10. App Store.
App Store.
App Store. Today. My account. What happening now?
So I'm just going to scroll through this.
To watch. Cast your TikTok Live Fest vote. It's time to shine a spotlight on your favorite creators. Heading. TikTok. Videos. Shop and live. Watch. Discover and stream. Button. The download. Button. TikTok. Videos.
I'm going to click on TikTok.
What to watch. TikTok. The download. Close. Your favorite. Happening now. Artwork. Live event. Artwork. Image. A purple.
Artwork.
White text and a blue and white logo. Live event.
Okay,
Happening now.
let me redo that. So right now it's just showing text. Happening now, and then artwork IMG for image, live event, go big, go live, Fest 2025. But then if I arrow over,
Artwork. Image. A purple poster with white text and a blue and white logo. Live event. Go big. Go live Fest 2025. More tracks. More fun. More live.
I can feel the logo on the Dotpad display. the multi-line display, and I can feel, its curvy design. It kind of feels like a bunch of parabolas on a math graph stacked together. I'm really bad at describing tactile graphics, I apologize. But that just goes to show that you can use both Braille, reading text in Braille, and you can use the Dotpad to display graphics while also having a way to input text. Unfortunately, like I said before, the drawback to this is you don't have native cursor routing, so you'd have to use the Braille commands.
Explore image. Activate. Default.
You'd have to use the Braille commands on the Orbit Writer to move the cursor or use the touchscreen. However, this does allow a lot of flexibility, especially maybe with a 3D printed case or a custom battery pack that can accommodate both the Dotpad and iPhone, maybe via MagSafe. So this again is my first. I'll go home.
App Store.
This again is my first ever incarnation of this kind of mobile setup. With a MacBook or a Mac desktop, it'll be a lot easier because those natively support multi-line, one, the Dotpad, and two, connecting multiple Braille displays at once. But if you want something mobile that can always stay online and always be awake with you, the iPhone is a good option. Again, this is my first iteration of this design. I plan to eventually move this all into a 3D printed case or some sort of more stable setup with not as many cables going everywhere, constant power being supplied. But yeah, feel free to provide feedback in the comments, and also any questions that you may have, or anything you would like me to demonstrate with this Dotpad. And thanks for watching. There will be a lot more to come. Thank you and have a good night.